So we call it Good Things, and it's from Capturing Kids' Hearts, a program that one of the schools I was at has used, and then I taught at one of their charter campuses. And basically the first couple of minutes of class, like while they're getting out supplies or gluing in paper to their journal or sharpening pencils, I ask if anyone has a good thing to share. And so it's real short, and it can be anywhere from I got a new puppy to I ate my favorite dinner to it's Wednesday and hump day, like this many days of school left. So it can be real broad. And then for me, we clap 3 times after just to affirm everyone that is sharing, because there's always the few kids that not everyone is their favorite. So I don't want it to be where some kids get a lot of attention and other kids don't. The kids don't make comments on other people's good things normally, it's just me. And normally I try to comment or like with like just to connect with them, just ask another question about it or share, hey, I've had that experience, or I have family in town also, or just some way to connect with them. And so usually it's 2 to 3 minutes. I do try to encourage kids that don't normally talk. I make it if they've already shared that week that they need to wait. And so there's some kids that are like, oh, there's nothing good. And I'm like, oh, come on, I'm sure we can find something. And we've literally gone to what they had for breakfast that morning, like something that where they're sharing something good about it. But the kids love it. If I forget, they remind me. I have one class that is it's not blocked, it's my one regular class, so time goes by really quick. So sometimes when I'm taking attendance, one of the kids will be like, can I leave good things real quick? Like one of them did today. And they went through and did it, and they all, like, you could tell they were making a comment to the person about it, like they knew how I normally do it. And then everyone clapped, and so it was fun to watch them get to lead sometimes. But they do love it. They do remind me if I forget, and it's just a real quick, easy way to get to know what's kind of going on in their world. So that's basically what we do.
Thank you so much for sharing, Vanessa. Now we'd love to hear any questions anyone has or comments.
I will say that there are kids sometimes that share something that's not a good thing. And so sometimes I'll be like, well, that's not really what we're talking about. But if you can think of something, then I would be happy to come back to you. Or I tell them that we can talk about that later. Like they'll say like someone in their family died or something that obviously they want to share, but it's not the appropriate time. So I do try to redirect that, and then I do go address it with them individually.
Do they ever make comments about another student, a good thing about another student or a peer in their classroom?
Like, do they share? Yeah, like I've had a class that shared, like one of them shared that this kid made the highest score on his week test in the class.
Okay.
So they've done that before. And as long as it's still like good things and it's not in any way where they're going to embarrass someone,
Okay.
then it's fine. Or like that a friend's coming over, one of the friends in their class is going to come over and hang out or play video games. So sometimes they do include their classmates.
Okay.
I wanted to comment, Vanessa, which we call her here in Bay County, Monique Cupak. I've had the opportunity to be in her class when she did that. And it's like, wow, because the kids are wanting to share with me, something good, but this way they're actually sharing to the class as a whole. And I was like, that is such a good way of starting class. Just tell me something good, either something that happened or something that's coming up, particularly when it's Friday. They may have something wonderful that's happening, and that way they share it collectively as a whole, to the whole class.
Mm-hmm.
For a lot of years, I played the song "Tell Me Something Good" when class would start, and I'd start it like on like 2.5 minutes left, and we would do good things while that song played. But they like that song.
Yeah.
I'm still on that.
Me too.
It's a great way to keep time. Like you start when it starts, you end when it's over. That's great.
The kids will want to keep going.
So I wanted to share something too. So something really similar to what you're saying. I'm now listening to you and hearing the importance of the kids actually sharing it with each other. One of the PERT Elevate ideas that we have implemented at our with our team at our school is that the kids write, like on a Monday, well, really anytime during the week, on a sticky note, something that they're looking forward to over the course of that week. And they just stick it like on the bulletin board as they're coming in the room. And it's so cool to go in the room and see the number of students that are standing there, not just contributing to the board, but reading all the other kids, like what they're excited about that week. And sometimes, like you said, it's school stuff, like, oh, I'm excited or I'm nervous about this test coming up. And sometimes it's sports, sometimes it's where I'm going with my family over the weekend, and it elicits that kind of just community culture. So just another twist on that. But I think it's great that you're sharing time in class for them to actually have that conversation. That's awesome.
Thanks for sharing, Alicia. That sounds so interesting, and I would love to see it in action. And I know, high school kids especially, I'm sure most of the kids do, love sticky notes. So I can totally see how that would work, and that's fantastic. I'd love for you guys to take a picture and shoot it over to us so we can share, because I think that'd be great to see. Vanessa, could you share the name of the song one more time?
Tell me something good.
Oh, tell me something good.
Tell me something good.
That's it.
Thanks, Pam. Is anyone else doing something similar to good things in their classroom that they'd like to share? It's okay if not, that's all right. One of the things you and I, Vanessa, had talked about was one student in particular who this really helped bring out of his shell, and a huge mindset shift for him. And I was wondering if you wouldn't mind sharing just a little bit about how that's impacted him as an individual, and before we go on to our next session.
Sure. I had a student who wasn't really friends with anyone in the class. He has moments of being more awkward and not participating, just kind of keeping to himself. And he's one that I kind of had to coax out of him, like something good. And it ended up being, he had Honey Nut Cheerios for breakfast. And I was like, that's amazing, because that's my favorite breakfast. And so then we talked about that. And he ended up after that, like, he'll come and tell me something at the door, something that happened. He doesn't always want to share in front of everyone, but then it opened him up to, he would participate more. He would also come and ask me more questions. So it did really, for him, for sure, it really helped start what needed to happen in class with him.
That is just so powerful. It makes me so happy to hear that. We've all had students who fit that kind of description, and it's great to hear that you're able to reach him.